Good morning. At this beautiful morning where the sun is rising, I think you can see the long shadows here behind me on the sugarcane field to be. They've just harvested sugarcane and they're going to, they've just planted sugarcane again. So we're going to have this wall of sugarcane. I loved it actually. I feared it before, so I'm happy that they're doing that. Anyway, it's just a small video because I had my mind running a little bit yesterday. I know that when I share my journey on various sites that there are people who really dislike me, and they dislike me because I'm doing things that nobody else are doing. I'm doing my own things without any intervention from the official treatment apparatus. And I also know that there might be people who are thinking, yeah, just wait, he will fail. And the question is obviously what the definition of fail is. I'm considering, as I've mentioned in another video, that this is already a success because for 2 years I've been doing my own thing and it has not escalated into something bad as far as the numbers says anyway, and I'm feeling fantastic. I've never been better. So in those terms, it is already a success because I'm diagnosed with a Gleason 9, a 5+4 or 4+5, I can't remember now. It's the highest one of the two. Gleason score with spread to lymph nodes. So it is what they call aggressive. Yet 2 years later, I've never felt better. So is it going to continue like this? Nobody knows. And there are definitely some of them in these groups that I'm a member of that are waiting for the day that I say, oh, now I've got a problem and I've got to do something about it because now it's not good. And they'll say, yeah, we told you so. But it doesn't really work like that, does it? Because for 2 years now, and for whatever how long time it will continue like this, it is good. And every single person, without any exception, who's gone through the official treatment has some side effects to some extent. They might be joyful that the side effects are not as much as they feared, and they might be joyful that it is not as painful and it's not as bad as they feared, but they still have them. And so there was one in the support groups now who wrote that he had been in Germany and he had had a surgery there and it was a huge success. It was a fantastic service and everything was good, and I felt happy for him. But then he wrote that his Gleason score was a 3+3. It was a Gleason score 6. So he had gone through the procedure of having his prostate removed for a Gleason score 6. I was like, what just happened there? I don't know what his PSA numbers were, but they definitely cannot have been very high. But he was very thankful for the members in the group who had encouraged him to get the shit out of the body, as they said it was, because cancer is just something that you got to get out of the body. And that's the topic of this one here, because it bugged me a little bit because there's something wrong with that. There's something absolutely, totally wrong with that. There's nothing wrong about making it an informed decision and be happy about the decision. That's absolutely perfect. But it's pretty naive, I think, to go and have a Gleason 6 cut out of your body and then say it's been a huge success 2 or 3 days after the operation as being a life-altering, yeah, I did the right thing kind of thing. That is way too early to say, because here is the thing, and it's been taking me quite a while to put my finger on it, but here is the thing. We all have cancer. It is not something that is unusual. Cancer is just certain cells that goes rampant, and it happens all the time in our bodies, all the time, throughout our whole lives. There's nobody who's escaping that. But if we're having a healthy lifestyle, then the body is able to combat that cell division or cell mutation at a level that it never becomes a diagnosis, that it never becomes something that we are aware of, something that we have the feeling that we have, that causes our health issues, because the immune system will handle it. It is part of our lives. So if a person goes down and have a Gleason score 6, cut out of his body and says it is a success. Well, first of all, he's done irreversibly damage to his body. That's number one. Number two, if he's not addressing the reason he got prostate cancer to start with, he's not done with it. He's still got the same problem. And the same problem will escalate, and it will come back with a vengeance later. I have yet to see one single person who have had official treatment and who has recurring cancer that has not been more aggressive. I know that there are people who have had surgery and they are 10 years down the road and they don't have any issues, and that is fantastic. They are the exceptions, very much so, but none of them, and there are no exceptions to that, have done it without side effects. Now, I understand that side effects is something that people they can live with and people they can accept, because the whole idea of having cancer is so much worse for them than, for instance, being incontinent or impotent or whatever consequences the intervention has. But you still have to remember, if you have not addressed the root cause of the reason you have cancer to start with, then all you have done is treating the symptoms. That's all you've done, and you've done it with the consequences that are irreversible. You cannot change it. And people say, oh, they have their lymph nodes removed. The lymph nodes is the system that takes away the garbage in your body. You cannot remove your garbage transportation system in your body and then expect your body to work fully functionally. If your body then is escalating and having more garbage, you will have more trouble. So while people, they don't understand why I'm doing this, then this is actually why I'm doing this. It's because at any given time that this goes out of control, I can do what they do. I can do the irreversible damage to my body if I want to. But they cannot do what I do, because they already caused the damage. Now, they can compensate and they can try to plaster it and they can try to patch it up. They can do various things, but they will never ever be able to change the irreversible damage they've done to the body. We're not born with anything we don't need. That might be apart from the appendix. But other than that, we have not got anything, and that's just because of evolution. But we need the organs we have, and we need them for a reason. So success as far as surgery, chemotherapy, radiation goes, well, I'd say that is something you got to wait and down the track to see if you got. And remember that while you're waiting, you have done irreversible damage to your body. I do not mention ADT, because ADT has irreversible damage to it as well if you're doing it long term, like man boobs and stuff. But if you're doing it short term, like 1 or 2 shots, there might not be irreversible damage there. And I say might be because it has been proven without any doubt that ADT is what causes the cancer to become castrate resistant. And that's because while you are cutting off the testosterone, then the cancer that needs the testosterone for some reason in the process to thrive, it becomes dormant. It doesn't die, it doesn't kills off, it just becomes dormant. And in its dormant state, it is trying to figure out how to survive. And in that process, it will eventually figure out how to produce fake testosterone. And when that happens, there is no medicine that will help you. You can prolong your life with chemotherapy, you can do a little bit of radiation to mitigate the pain you might have because it's metastasized to the bones, but that is irreversible as well. Does that process start? Is it initiated by just 1 single injection or 2 injections? I have no idea. But because I have no idea, I am reluctant to go down that road. If I knew for certainty that there would be no consequences in those terms by doing ADT, I would have taken the shots already, because there's no reason not to at this stage anyway, 2 years down the road, where I haven't been able to bring my PSA down to the level I want. But there is maybe a risk inherently in that method. You might actually start the clock on the castrate resistance to occur. And because of that, I don't want to. So, yes, I am happy for people who are getting out of surgery and they are feeling well and they do not have an issue with incontinence and they do not feel overwhelmingly painful, and they are happy. And that's very important, because if you're happy, your whole immune system is reacting differently and you have a much better fighting chance to combat it. But have to look at long term there. I have to say so. The moment counts. It's one of the only thing that really counts. It's the moment, because that's the only thing we have. The future is ahead of us. But down the road, there will be a moment that will be your present moment. And then you have to relate to the fact that there's been done irreversible damage. And it's only down the road we'll know whether the irreversible damage done to the body now causes the cancer to come back with a vengeance. And then it is a bad situation to be in. I am, on the other hand, trying to find ways, without provoking the cancer, to find ways to treat it naturally. And so that I either can keep it at bay forever, which is okay with me because I'm living a healthy lifestyle, as long as I can figure out a way how to do it within the framework of the money I have, because it's not cheap. But yeah, the best thing would actually be to be cured, and then might just maintain some sort of a maintenance protocol. But that's my story. Anyway, I think it's just very important for people to understand before they make these jumps that you're not just taking cancer away. You're just mitigating symptoms when you're doing it, and you're doing it by making irreversible damage to your body. So at a Gleason 6, I would have done other things. Now I understand that this guy, he was comparing it with active surveillance, and I understand that active surveillance or being treated right away, well, both of them are shit. Sorry my language, because if you're not doing anything to change your lifestyle, if you're not doing anything to mitigate the fact that you do have a reason to have a cancer, then you're basically the same bad spot as you are if you have your surgery done. You're not doing anything that really on the long term will help you. You have to focus on the reason you got cancer to start with, and if you don't focus on that, you're not doing anything but just like peeing the pants on a cold day. Yes, it will help you now, but it will hurt you with a vengeance later down the road. That's what it is to me. Surgery without focus on the cause of the reason is like peeing in your pants on a cold day. That's all it is. And I'm happy for the people who enjoy the moment of warmth. I am. Just remember, if you're not moving your butt out of the cold, you will get hit with a hammer very soon. So that was my little sunshiny morning message. Until next time, stay happy and healthy.